So hi, I'm Neil Johnston from Novation, and we're here at DV 24/7 to show you a brand new product, the Novation Twitch. It's entry into the DJ Controller market, and we came in a different way as Novation always do, and it's our new touch strip controller. Out of the box it comes with itch, cool piece of Serato software, also allows you to use Native Instruments Tractor, and we're also doing some cool mappings for Ableton as well, so you can really get deep and dirty with all of these DAW pieces of software using our controller. We came from it a bit differently, rather than putting platters, we've gone for a touch strip technology design with some really cool pads at the bottom, allowing you to get inside and have some performance with all of your tracks. And I'm here with Gavin today, and we're going to go through this cool little beast that's just about to come out. We need to be able to get around the control surface. We've got a browser section on here. We can view the different areas and quickly browse up and down different view types, and we can go into samples and we can load them quickly. So we'll go back to our settings here. I'm going to go across, scroll through, go to a different area, move across. So we're moving forwards now. There we are. Go into our library, quickly scroll through the library, and we've got a couple of tracks loaded. We can choose to load into deck A and deck B without even using our mouse, and the whole part of it is we don't need to use our mouse, we can use the controller. So we've got a track loaded, we'll just play that track. Go to a different view of that. And what I've done here, first section performance mode, we've just loaded, or we've just inserted a hot cue there. So on the fly I've just stuck another hot cue in. And just put a little hi-hat in there. Blah blah blah. So we're just loading in different parts, or queuing up different parts of the track. That's hot cues. Really quickly allows us to queue up 8 different parts. We've got 8 pads here, and we can set 8 different hot cues. We can clear the hot cues quite easily, just holding down shift and just remove the hot cues. And drop them straight back in again. Another cool thing on Twitch is slicer mode. Slicer mode allows us to slice between the parts of the track, and we can loop the slicer mode into a degree, and we can zoom in or zoom out the resolution of the slices. So I've just taken that outer section now to 1/8 of a bar. And I can zoom right out now. And view more of the bar. Or we can zoom back in again and have a really, really tight kind of group. Okay, so we can turn off the second part of the slicer mode, and this is now following the track. And instead of actually looping the track, it's actually following the track. When we drop into a slice mode, it's slicing it, but it's actually, once we let the slice go, it's going back where the track would have been. Really, really cool. We've got an auto loop mode, and again it's following the track. Now it's just looping that little section now. We can choose to zoom in or zoom out of that loop, and it's still looping it in real time. Or we can hit the loop mode again. What it's doing now is setting 8 different loop points for us, so we can quickly flip between the loop points. The last part here is loop roll. On the Novation Dicer, it allows you to do automatic loops in quantize over various different quantized resolutions. So using the bottom part on 16ths, eighths, quarters, half bars, so on and so forth. Interestingly, the track as it's moving along is slightly going out of time. We've got a beat grid up here, we can adjust it and slip it in real time as we go along. So what I'm going to do now is just slightly adjust it, holding down the adjust button, I'm moving my finger on the touchpad, allows me to readjust the beat grid, and it is that simple. Quickly right in time again now. So again, when we go to our slicer or our loophole, all of our performance modes are accurately in time. So we can create really cool remixes and really cool fills, really cool edits without actually having to go into different pages. Okay, so you'll notice I've just put the effects on there. The faders, we have two faders on here. We have a cross fader and we have two alt faders. The faders don't only control the volumes, and we've got a 3-band EQ as well. But we can also use the faders to control effects. Now this is a left deck, right deck effect. We've got independent effects on the decks, and we've got independent master effects as well. Just turning on the effects turns the fader from a volume into a filter cutoff, phaser. We have our repeaters, that's up to 16. Echoes. Delays, blah 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 blah. Now we can adjust the amount of the effect by turning the rotary. So we can click through a different effect, we'll go back to our high pass filter, turn the effect on. And now the fader is actually representing the filter cut-off point, but the rotor is affecting the resonance. Now, when we go out of the effect and back to using the fader as a volume control, the two lights on here flash, telling us that we're not actually at the level of where we last left the fader. So we just move our fader until we meet that point. It's called a pickup, and it picks it back up again, and we can now take control of the levels again really, really quick. We also have master effects. This is this section up here. Master effects at the moment are off. So we can assign a master effects to a deck. We'll assign them to deck A because we're listening to a track from deck A. And turn them on. The master effect is the high pass filter. And we have an amount of depth on a rotary here, so again this is controlling deck A. We can hold down deck A and deck B, and now it's controlling the whole of the master output. So we can take complete control over the whole of the track. We can flick through our effects and we can scroll through, we can bring an echo in there. Tremolo, repeaters, reversers, breakers, reverbs. Now we've got a full play on there with the reverb. So it allows us to get really quick, deep and dirty inside our tracks and start to remix and start to be kind of creative rather than just having a left deck, right deck solution. It's bus powered, it's an audio interface, it has two TRS outputs on the back, master outputs, it has RCA outputs for the booth out. You can switch between the booth being the main output or being the Q output as well if you wanted to send it off to a monitor. We've got auxiliary inputs as well, allowing us to bring a signal into here and affect that from the master effects. We can actually apply the auxiliary over the master effects. allows us to take a signal out here. An example, we could use the booth out and back in again to create a looping effect. We've got direct monitoring, as you can see on there, that can be on and off. We've got an aux gain as well. Kensington lock, so you can lock it down. Interestingly, one thing we put on here, and a lot of controllers don't have this, is a removable crossfader. So when your crossfader breaks down, you can buy another one. You don't have to take the unit apart at all, you just take the 2 screws from the bottom, remove the crossfader cap, and it will drop out, and you can replace it. Microphone input as well, with a mic gain, 2 headphone inputs, 3.5 and 6mm jacks. That's the Twitch.